Thank you all for joining us, Jim. It's great to be here with you. And of course, Marc Benioff, CEO, founder, and chair of Salesforce, and proud owner of a Mustang Mach-E.
Yes.
Right?
I have two.
Two?
Yeah, I do. I have a white one, which is what I drove today, and I have a yellow one as well.
So how often are you testing the 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds?
Well, you have to go to unbridled mode. You know about unbridled mode? It's very cool.
All right, we're going to come back to that. Jim, what are a hardware and a software company doing up here together?
So Marc's been part of my education about transitioning to this digital software world. I think our industry's kind of been obsessed with electrification, appropriately so, but these are really digital vehicles. And we're really excited the work we're doing with Salesforce on Visor. They're also going to be the cloud provider for Ford Pro. Do you imagine all that compute in the cloud will be done with Salesforce? And our relationship is growing very fast. I think it's just, it's really the change that's happening in our industry. These are not just electric propulsion systems, they're digital vehicles. And we can learn a lot from Salesforce. I'm sure Marc, watching the presentations, mine was going fast about all the opportunities we have for our pro customers. It's where our industry is going. It's actually there now.
Marc, what can a Ford learn from Salesforce, from you?
Well, I'm a proud Ford customer, as Jim knows, and I have a small home not so far away from here in Sonoma, which is nice to be in this beautiful country. And I have a Ford F-350 configured as a fire truck. We have very high fire risk here in this area, as you probably know. And my Ford F-350 also has a joystick in the center console that controls a fire nozzle in the front of the truck and whenever I need it. And why that's important is when you have a professional use of a truck like that, you need to make sure that truck is ready to go 24/7. And having a connected truck, it has all the telematics and all the connectivity back to Ford already. But this idea that it's going to have wrapped in what we call customer 360 services, that I can be connected to Ford, that I can be connected to my dealer where I get service, where I can be connected to other, volunteer fire departments like myself and others. Well, that gives me a complete package. And that idea that I have value-added services, well, that's converting my Ford F-350 into what I call an F-360, because I want to have that 360-degree view.
Jim, how do you imagine the services that you're providing are going to change the way a customer like a wine grower in Sonoma operates on a daily basis?
Well, I think our vehicles will still be really important, but I do believe the loyalty to the brand is going to be driven by the software experience. I mean, I think how it'll change, it won't change really. They're looking for 100% uptime. These are productive tools for them, and they, as Marc just said, they want 100% uptime. So what will change is they're going to be down less. The vehicle's engineered already, electrifying, it's 40% less parts, but it still breaks down. They're heavy use vehicles, and we can't afford ever to that happen. There's a day that's coming where we can do 100% prognostics, so before an air leaves a tire, we can actually predict the tire going flat before it happens. And that would be the ideal state for our customers.
And you've said selling services to car buyers could be a $20 billion market someday. How can a company like Salesforce help you crack that? How does software help you crack that?
I think by getting the product right and by learning from them how to support software. We don't know how to do this. It's a whole new muscle for us.
So what's the role of Salesforce then?
Well, it's very simple. I mean, last night actually was with my contractor. I'm remodeling one of my buildings, and look, he has his Ford truck there. That's his office. He works and lives out of his truck, and we need to be able to provide a full range of services to automate him. There's a full set of capabilities that still he doesn't have. When we're talking about building the Ford cloud, the idea that all of these services for community and for service and for financing and for buying new products, and that's a tremendous amount of value added for that contractor, or for the electrician who's going to be there, or for the plumber who's going to be there, and they're all going to be driving up, in their Ford trucks, and hopefully soon their new Ford Lightning trucks. And that idea that we're able to offer value to them and connect them with each other, with the factory, with the dealer, and that it provides an integrated service and these value-added applications. Like you've seen, we have built this amazing technology called Visor. That's the first set of applications that those workers, they can use that right inside their vehicles. It's very cool.
Jim, can you paint the picture for me of how you imagine us paying for services? So obviously there's a commercial use case, then there's car buyers down the line. Like, are we going to be paying for heated seats like we pay for satellite radio, for autonomous driving technology, for a concierge on demand? Explain that.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty clear to us that there'll be lots of connected services that we should give away not for free, but for people to get more use out of the vehicle. So I would be surprised if we charged for a heated seat. That doesn't make sense to me.
But,
okay. but some companies are doing that. I don't think that's our approach. But there'll be kind of customized software that you can pick and choose, as Marc said, off a menu that would make sense for our commercial customers and our retail customers, that makes sense for them. Maybe prognostics or certain kind of telematics like dynamic routing or coaching for the driver if a gas or diesel van. So I think we'll have a subscription like we're so used to, and content, but it'll just be customized based on the usefulness of the data. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense because, when you look at all the opportunities, whether it's opportunities in sales and service and marketing, in commerce itself, in building these custom applications, the analytics, the dashboards, the data, so many of those things that you see here that, it's not typically how we think about our trucks. But in this case, our trucks are connected. These aren't just trucks, these are connected trucks. And the truck is really becoming my friend. I have a relationship with my truck. I mentioned before in my new F-350, I have a new F-350 fire truck. I have a relationship with that truck. I have to make sure that truck is always ready to go because you never know when that's going to be a major issue for you. So I think this is what value-added services out of the cloud is going to offer us. It's going to offer us the ability to be more connected not only to our products but to each other, and we'll be able to do that in every dimension of the business.
Jim, is there a number you can put on it? Like by 2030, how much do you imagine services contributing to the overall business?
I don't want to put a number on it, but I can imagine that, half of our commercial revenue could be either physical service of the vehicle or software. I don't think the answer will be like it'll be software and not the physical service. They're totally integrated in our case to keep the uptime 100%. But I could see half.
And obviously, Marc, Ford and Salesforce have had a relationship for a long time. Are you seeing more of your own customers rev up their relationship with Salesforce like this? And what does that mean for your business? Does that help you reach SMBs and new customers that you might not reach otherwise?
All of our customers have a need to connect with their customers in new ways. And when you look at Ford, I think one of the most exciting things about this event reminds me a lot of what Home Depot did with their business. All of a sudden, they realized they had a B2C business, for the consumer. That's me and my Mach-E. But they had a B2B business, their pro business. And when they did that, it was a radical acceleration of their revenue because they realized that is where they had a tremendous new marketing opportunity. And that's what's happening here with Ford. By introducing something called Ford Pro, we really have the opportunity to focus on this market segment that's probably the most profitable market segment in the world for this company. And we are just at the beginning of an unbelievable story. And then when you add these comprehensive marketing services, the ability to build a one-on-one relationship with these professionals, to understand them, to be able to provide them the products and the services that they need, it becomes a tremendous product line over time. Also, you get a tremendous feedback on what are the products that they really want, what are other services that they're doing. One of my joys this year has actually been connecting Jim Farley with Craig Menear, the CEO of Home Depot, because I just realized, whoa, they're a parallel universe. I said, Jim, do you know Craig? No. No, I don't know, Craig. Like, you guys are actually doing the same business motion, and I think a lot of businesses are. They realize that there's a lot of different ways to sell their products, and this is a great example, and I'm very excited to see Ford make this tremendous transformation of their business.
Jim, there's obviously a big sustainability piece here, and you've made a huge commitment to electrification. How do you see services and products like the Ford Pro contributing to a cleaner future?
Well, I think any way we can get these assets, these working tools to be better used, like Marc said, is going to help. And I think there's going to be a lot of pickup truck and van electric offers, but none of them are going to be Bill Ford tough. I mean, we've been testing. We know this market. We know the customers like Marc really well. And we have literally tests that no one else runs in the world. So I think this is a big transition for our company. I'm really excited about the electrification of the products, but I'm actually more excited about this data, software, physical services integrated business. That to me is the future of our industry. And it's going to start at Ford with Pro.
Did the pandemic play a role in the development of this technology or the acceleration of the development of this technology?
Sure. I mean, absolutely. No doubt about it. The home delivery exploded. Our van business exploded around the world. I think there's a number of things that happened, but definitely during the pandemic, we became more focused on services and serving our customers beyond just electrifying the fleet. I think it's actually personally surprising how much our industry talks about electrification and doesn't talk about this digital move. I don't know,
Well, I think every automaker is going through a transformation. One, everybody's going electric. Yeah. But two, everybody has to be deeply connected and autonomous too, right? These are the two fundamental motions of every automaker. I don't know how you do it actually, because it's a lot of work. You're rebuilding the fundamental product, but also building the software as well. But the result, I think, is some of the finest automobiles that I've ever seen. And I think in the example of the Mach-E, I have a great story where a friend of mine, I was watching her on Twitter, and she is an aerospace pilot. Jim knows who this is. And she's running this survey. Well, which electric vehicle should I buy? And it's not there. Well, that's one of my Mach-Es right there. I off-roaded it, and if you're going to take it off-road, contact me because I have some specific advice for you. But in this case, I'm all of a sudden I see her survey, hey, which one should I buy? And it's not there. The Mach-E isn't there. So I direct message her and I say, listen, before you do anything today or tomorrow, go to your Ford dealer and drive this car. It is exceptional and very different than any other electric car you will ever drive. She did that. She went to the dealer. She took basically the Ford Challenge, and she ended up buying the car on the spot. I think that this is one of the great competitive advantages that Ford has, not just a great leader with Jim, not just a great brand, but also this tremendous dealer network too, and a lot of happy customers coming out of that.
So on that note, I do have one last question, because I believe you own or have owned a Tesla Model Y, and I want to know how they stack up and if you have any thoughts on the comparison for Jim here.
One of the great things about being in my industry and Salesforce is every automaker is our customer. So we see all of these products, and I've probably had the first one of everything. I have to tell you, this is the best thing I've ever driven, and I'm happy to have two of them now. And if you haven't driven it, Emily, I recommend that you do that.
All right, maybe we could arrange that.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, last word.
You got it. It's done.
All right.
And I can tell you, Marc tests a vehicle fully.
I do. Fully. I have feedback if there's any Ford engineers here on the Mach-E underbelly.
I see you flooring it out of here today. All right, Marc Benioff, Jim Farley, thank you so much.
Thank you.